Okay, this week it's the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, and we will have live reports from there all week. Ford Motor is popping open the hood to app developers. We'll have that and more right here, right now on Digits. Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Simon Constable, and we've got someone from Ford joining us now live from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. It's Doug VanDagens. He is a Services Solutions Director there. Thanks for joining us, sir.
You're welcome.
So, apps in cars. Explain exactly what you're doing with apps in cars and why popping open the hood to developers.
So we've been doing this for a while. We started with our AppLink program, which is fundamentally technology on the vehicle side and that we hand to developers to integrate into their smartphone apps that allows the controls in the vehicle to control your smartphone. So the voice engine, the steering wheel buttons, the buttons on the touch screen. But what we announced here today is really a developer's environment that has all the tools and assets necessary to open it up to, thousands and thousands of developers. In fact, we've got some statistics from opening the site that says we've had about 3,000 requests an hour from developers to get onto the site and use our tools and assets.
3,000 requests per hour. What do you hope to gain from this? Obviously, Ford is a massive company. I worked in the car industry once at General Motors. You tend to have a lot of resources in those companies, a lot of great talent in-house. Why go out-house, as it were?
Well, in a word, innovation. I mean, really, to bring a lot of the innovation that you see, in the app stores today for smartphones, bring that same type of innovation and creativity to the vehicle, but allow those developers to develop, in the environments they're used to on the smartphone and the languages they're used to. And I will have to say right off the top, it allows us to bring in great content like the Wall Street Journal Live that we announced last night as our first new app.
Awesome. Well, we love that, obviously. Now, one of the things that you're trying to do is to have stuff that isn't just like apps from a phone, but something different. Explain the difficulty with that, because a phone is one thing and a car is another.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great point. So, we have some guidelines out on the site that say the type of apps we're looking for, which are a lot of kind of core automotive functionality. Navigation, location-based services, music, entertainment, productivity are all in the categories that we're encouraging. Some of the things that we don't encourage are obviously video, any kind of game or anything that takes your eyes off the road or your hands off the wheel. And that's why this particular technology AppLink is voice-based, so that you can keep your hands on the wheel.
Now that is important. Safety must be paramount whenever you're developing anything with a car, because they can be tremendously dangerous. What things are you doing other than not having video to ensure that?
Well, really what happens is we make it easy for the developer, because the environment that they're writing to is the interior of the car, and there are telematics guidelines that guide what we can display in the vehicle. The same thing you see on your radio or for climate control. Those guidelines apply to what's being shown from the app. And so we have, controls over how the information is displayed. And we also review each of the individual apps to determine which ones we think are appropriate. We also don't want anything that's too cognitively distracting, right? If it takes a lot of your attention, there's too many lines of text, those are things that we're not going to allow. But it hasn't dampened enthusiasm. So
how does the app developer get paid? I mean, obviously I don't want to get into any state secrets there or Ford Motor secrets, but we're at the Wall Street Journal, and we like to know about how the business is working.
Yeah, and I think this is the coolest part of our developers' environment. AppLink is really free on every sync-enabled vehicle. It comes with sync, and there's no incremental charge, unlike some of our competitors who provide or charge monthly service fees. But in addition to that, we're not charging the app developers anything to get access to the code or the test tools or any of the documentation. And then they distribute the apps through the normal app stores, through iTunes or the Apple Store or Google Play or wherever, and whatever they can sell the app for, if they have a free version and a premium version, or if they do advertising, they keep that money. Ford really just allows you to control that app through the controls in the vehicle, and so we hope to sell more cars because of it, because we'll have really cool applications. things like the latest maps, the latest voice engines in different dialects from different regions, and our business model really is to bring a lot of developers to bear, create a lot of cool apps, and sell more Fords.
Okay. Well, obviously, we wish you luck. Thank you very much, Doug VanDagens, Services Solutions Director at Ford Motor. We thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Simon.